Anish Shroff here with Panthers' new GM, recently promoted, Dan Morgan. And Dan, I want to go back to the beginning of your journey starting as a player, because you as a player know what this past season was like. Describe your rookie season with Carolina.
Yeah, it was challenging. Not only being a rookie and first time in the NFL, feeling the NFL out, and to come in and win your first game and think you may actually have a good football team, and then to lose 15 straight was really challenging. And I told our guys this year, I said, hey, like, I've been through this. It can turn around quickly, because we were 1-15 in 2001, and in 2003 we were in a Super Bowl. So this thing can turn around quick. We just got to do it the right way.
In terms of perspective, that experience, what perspective does that give you?
I think it's one of those things where, tough times don't last, tough people do. That saying, I think, when you go through those tough times, you really find out a lot about yourself, and you go through adversity, and it makes you stronger in the long run. And, I think that relates a lot to our team now, to where I think, they went through a tough time last year, but they don't want to go through that again. So I think everybody's ready to work and is committed to turning this around.
Fast forward to the end of your career. How does eye black, neck roll Dan Morgan make the transition to what you are now? What was that process like when your playing career ended?
Yeah, I didn't know that I wanted to do this when I got done playing. I had an opportunity from an ex-scout for the Panthers who was in Seattle at the time, and he said, hey, I always thought you'd be a really good scout. You had a good eye for talent, and I love talking to you. I didn't know that I wanted to do this. And a matter of fact, I wasn't even going to get on the plane to go do the internship that I did, but decided to go out there, and I loved it. And 14 years later, I'm sitting here and the GM of the Carolina Panthers.
What did you like about scouting initially?
Initially, I think it's really just putting a team together, identifying talent, putting a bunch of different personalities together. It's a cool thing. You got a lot of different guys from a lot of different backgrounds, a lot of different areas, and to, bring those guys together and bring that team together and kind of like put the pieces of the puzzle together and, see that vision through. I think that's the coolest part.
When you initially got to Seattle, give us your first impression of their wide receivers coach.
He was pretty energetic. He's always had a lot of energy, really smart. He had a really tough receiving room to deal with. He had a lot of competitors, scrappy competitors. Doug Baldwin, Golden Tate was there, Jermaine Kearse. So we had a lot of guys, that had a little bit of edge, and Dave did such a good job with those guys. He's such a technician. He's smart with like every little detail. I'm happy he's here now, let's put it that way.
Yeah, Dave Canales was the Seattle wide receivers coach, now the Panthers head coach, and we'll get back to that. But at that point, you're both early in your coaching careers, you as a scout in the front office, he as a coach. What sort of relationship developed?
Yeah, so ironically enough, our offices were right next to each other. So who would have thought, 14 years later that me and him would be here together. So we kind of grew up together. We were interns together. We kind of went up the ranks together. So, for that to happen, I could always tell he was going to be good. And I think he would probably say the same about me. We worked our butts off. We were at the office early in the morning till late at night, and we loved doing what we do. So I'm just happy that I'm here with him now.
You guys were in Seattle at the height of that franchise's success. When you look back from a front office standpoint, what were some of the elements that made it so successful?
I think it really has to do with everybody on the same page, everybody's aligned in the building, everybody communicates really well, and the vision's really clear. Pete Carroll did such a good job of casting a vision of what he wanted, not only from a culture standpoint, but from a player standpoint. Hey, these are the type of body types we want. These are the type of character guys we want. We want guys with grit. We want guys that are tough, and everybody knew what we wanted. So from a scouting standpoint, it was easy to go out and evaluate that talent and be like, okay, this guy fits what a Seattle Seahawk wants. And, that's something that we're going to carry here.
Let's fast forward present day, Carolina Panthers. For the doubters, for the skeptics who say, hey, coming off a 2-15 season, it would have been easy to go get somebody and put fresh eyes on this thing. What's your message to that chorus?
You know, I think it's one of those things where, listen, as a player, you know, I feel like I went out there, I gave it my all, played at a high level. I worked my way up the scouting ranks and, you know, put the work in. And I learned under a bunch of good people, John Schneider out in Seattle, Joe Shane, who's the Giants GM now, Brandon Beane, who's the Bills GM. I learned under a lot of really good people, so I think I'm well equipped to, you know, take this team to the next level.
Couple more things, Dan. You spoke of alignment. In this role now, what does alignment in this organization look like?
Yeah, I think it's, you know, really between the front office, between the other side of the building, which the corporate side, and then the players. Just all of us being aligned, knowing where we are, knowing what the vision is, and kind of seeing that vision through.
What is the vision, the mission statement, the core goal, if you will?
Yeah, I think it's really about, you know, Dave will say it all the time, like, we got to protect the ball. We got to take the ball away, and we got to protect the ball on offense. And I know that's Dave's big philosophy is really it's all about the ball. So right now that's kind of what we're looking for from a draft and free agency perspective.
Well, we're excited.
Yeah.
Dan Morgan,
Thanks,
you.
man.